Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about skills taxonomy. What it means to you as an international student or a migrant. Before going further, I would like to talk about why I came up with this topic today. Skills taxonomy. I have the habit of reading articles published by research organizations such as like McKinsey & Co. or World Economic Forum. I refer to their articles every now and then. I'm very much interested to learn about the skills required for future workforce, technology, and also how the changes are taking place in the workplace. So this type of things I have a bit of interest, so I look for that type of articles. So one day I opened this website called World Economic Forum, and then I was looking for articles of my interest. And then that's where I found this skills taxonomy, building a common language for skills at work. I was like, what? It sounds interesting. Let me read through. Then after reading it, I understand how the algorithm is going to change in the future for skills required at work, and what governments, organizations, and also universities are trying to change the way it is working now. So before going further, I would like to provide a context why the skills taxonomy came into existence, why this is a new topic altogether now. It's why it hasn't been there 10 years ago. I started researching from that perspective, and then I realized that maybe due to the changes in the technology, which I'm going to talk about now. So the employment, so we came a very long way in terms of employment. When you look at in 1900s to 2000, late 90s, if you look at the employment strategies or how the employers used to recruit employees, it was called a traditional employment, where an employee latch onto a job and employer until their retirement. If you look at your grandparents or your parents or your uncles who worked in the corporate world, would tell you about this, or you can observe their career graph. So they joined as a junior, some of them promoted to the senior level, or some of them to the higher level, depending on how they've been, got the training and development within the organization. And they used to work for a small rise of pay every year. So that's how the traditional employment was. And if you have to apply for those jobs, it was always advertised in a piece of paper or in a national or local newspaper. You have to go through the manual process, apply, and then wait for the call. That's how it used to work. Wait for the call through the post. So that's how the traditional employment used to work. When it comes to late 1990s, if you look at with the introduction of the internet and the technology, the job search websites came into life. So what these job search websites did was they gave an opportunity for the employer and the employee to get the right candidate for the employer with the right skill set, and for the employee to get the right job for their skill set. So they have given an opportunity to look around. So this job market is called transparent job market. Yes. So in this market, you can choose or you can shop around until you get the right kind of job for your skill set, or the employers can do the same thing. And then we came from 2017-18 to now. Now the workforce has changed again. So it's called pixelated workforce. What is pixelated workforce? Pixelated means you can see the pixels. So So if you see a TV or your mobile phone, you have little pixels on them. So now the people are working in that sort of pixel. They have their own work, or they have their own business for themselves. So that's called pixelated workforce. So that means there is a rise for independent workers. And recently there was a research held by one of the research organizations. In that research it was told that US has generated a revenue of 1.3 trillion through independent workers. And even in Australia, it was talking about there is a 9-fold increase from 2015 to now, and it has got $6 billion in revenue from independent workers. So that the gig economy is growing. What is gig economy? For example, if you look at the freelancer, it's more like a freelancing job. Now people are not working full time to do a job. Even the companies are not recruiting full time. They're looking for short and crisp on project basis. That's how the workforce is changing. So from a traditional employment that sticking to one company until the retirement age to a project based employment. So you can work in this gig economy, you can work for number of companies at the same time by doing different projects. So that's how the pixelated workforce is doing at the moment, and this is going to rise in the future because pixelated workforce has its own advantages. Because people like it, they can be their own boss, and also the same way the employers can get what they need with a lesser cost, because they don't need to pay the independent workers workers compensation and other benefits that they usually pay for a full-time employee. And why this? You may be thinking why Santoshi is talking about the types of employment and then how it is linked to skills taxonomy, which I'm going to talk about it, and which you understand better if I talk about skills taxonomy after talking about these types of workforces or types of changes in the employment. And that I'm going to cover soon in part 2. Just keep tuned. I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. Thank you.